Hi everyone, this is Mrs. Martin. Excited to be giving a book talk again today. Just some information about these book talks. Remember that when it comes to a book talk, I'm sharing enough with you about a book just to convince you or to try to persuade you to read it. I know that some books might sound interesting while others are not going to be your style, and that's okay. The idea here is to add some titles to your reading list, but not every book is going to be for everyone. The way these slides are set up in the book talk is with the title of the book and the author. We're also going to have the book cover on there so that if you go to pull it off the shelf, you know what the book is going to look like. There's going to be a few pictures that hint at the story and the genre in the top right corner to again make it easy for you to find this book, whether you are going to the library soon to look for it or at a later time. Remember, these are only a few of our 18,000 books in the library. So again, you might be looking for other books in the library when you go down to check out. You might be looking for books by the same author or similar kinds of books. We only have a few copies of each of these books in our collection. So while you may not be able to find this exact book right away, it might be a book that you put on hold, for example. These are just a few ideas and books to add to your reading list, even if the book isn't available for you immediately. Let's get started. The first book I'm sharing today is The Remarkable Journey of Coyote Sunrise by Dan Guymanhart. This is in our realistic fiction section. It is one of my favorites of the last 2 years. It follows the journey of a girl who calls herself Coyote, even though that's not her real name. And it's a journey that she's taking with her dad, Rodeo, although that's not his real name either. And you figure out why in the opening chapters. They've been traveling across the country on a school bus for quite some time. What her dad does not know is that Coyote is on a mission to save something important from her past. And she's really determined to do this and to reach this destination on this journey before it's too late. The thing is, though, she's really running toward the thing that Rodeo has been running away from the last 5 years. So the two of them in this school bus basically have two completely opposite goals. And Coyote can't drive, her dad can, so he's in charge in terms of where the bus goes, but she has some persuasive abilities herself. And as they drive along, they meet new people, they have new people join them on the bus, and it is a fantastic journey, both a physical journey and an emotional journey. This book led me to laugh and, yes, to cry as well, and I just can't recommend it enough. It is an absolute joy to read. The Remarkable Journey of Coyote Sunrise, realistic fiction. Please write this one down if you love a story that brings you through all the feels. Stuart Gibbs is a fabulous author, and those of you who have read any of his books in the Spy School series might love some of these. Belly Up by Gibbs is in mystery. And in this book, Henry, the hippopotamus at this brand new fun jungle zoo, has, well, gone belly up. He died. The thing is, the people at the zoo are claiming that it was due to natural causes. I can't remember in the story if it's that he got old or, just got sick or what happened exactly. But they claim it was no big deal in terms of how he died. Teddy, though, is not so sure. He has suspicions to believe that someone had it out for Henry, that someone killed him on purpose. No one wants to believe that at the zoo. They want to keep that idea quiet. So Teddy is seeking the truth on his own until he meets a girl named Summer, who has some secrets of her own, by the way. And she agrees with Teddy's idea, and the two of them decide to investigate. They have a lot of suspects. They have a lot of people that they believe may have wanted to see Henry dead. But the closer they seem to get to figuring out who may have done it, the unfortunate thing is, it seems that the danger is mounting, and perhaps it's putting their own lives in danger as well. Check out Belly Up by Stuart Gibbs to find out what exactly happened to Henry the hippo, and can Teddy and Summer figure it out before it's too late. The Blackbird Girls by Anne Blankman is a brand new historical fiction book to our library this fall. I'm really excited for you to hear this book review about a historical event. And in this book, you're going to be taken in a journey between two different time periods. Let's listen to the book review first.
You booked a cozy Verbo mountain cabin with a kitchen where everyone can chef. But the thing they'll remember.
This is 1 Minute Books, and I'm reviewing The Blackbird Girls by Anne Blankman. This story is about two young girls, Valentina and Oksana. They live in Russia, and a nuclear disaster has occurred in their town. They have to get out of there. Valentina's mother knows that she can only get 2 train tickets, so she puts the 2 girls by themselves on a train to get out of their town and go somewhere else in Russia. The thing is, the girls are terrified. They don't want to do it, and on top of it, they don't like each other at all. There are so many pieces to this story. There's the nuclear disaster that was based on the Chernobyl disaster that actually happened in Russia in the 1980s, and how the government hid it from their people, and so many people were exposed to the radiation from the fallout of the nuclear power plant. It's also about the prejudice against Jewish people in Russia, and about parents, or in this case, a father abusing a child and a mother just letting it happen. But there's also this wonderful piece of a grandmother loving her child and a friendship developing with 2 young people. If you like books that are going to deal with tough issues, are going to be about friendship, and are based in a disaster that actually happened in the 1980s, you're going to like this one. Give it a try. For more information on it, check out my description below.
Sorry for the delay on our video there, but I hope that you will check out The Blackbird Girls by Anne Blankman. Historical fiction. If you're in the mood for a sports story, One-Handed Catch by M.J. Ock might be a terrific book to read. This story imagines what life might be like with only one hand. 11-year-old Norm finds out what that is like. He's been a big baseball kid since he was very young. The story's set in 1946, so it's at the end of World War II. And life is sort of getting back to normal, but Norm loses his left hand in an accident when he's working at his family's store. And when he does so, the big question is he going to be able to continue to do what he loves? And that is play baseball. He's also an artist, so it plays into that piece as well. But baseball is his number one passion, and he doesn't know at first if that's going to be a possibility. So really, this story is about that resilience. Whether or not Norm is going to be able to find that strength to get beyond something that's going to change his life forever and move on with his life with this new normal. One-Handed Catch by M.J. Ock. If you are a baseball fan, you're going to enjoy this book. If you love a story where a character has to try to overcome some hardship, you're also going to really enjoy this story. Stolen Children by Peg Carrot in Adventure is one of our many kidnapping stories. This is a very quick, suspenseful read about a girl who thought she knew everything there was to know about babysitting. She took a babysitting class. She got certified in everything from first aid to, basically everything that had to do with being a babysitter. And she has babysat for Kendra quite a bit. One night she's babysitting and 2 men show up. They kidnap both Kendra, the little girl, and Amy, and they take them to a cabin in the woods, middle of nowhere. There, they make videos of the girls, and they mail those videos to Kendra's wealthy parents in an effort to get some ransom money. From there, the story just takes over. What's going to happen? Is Amy going to be able to outsmart these kidnappers? Are Kendra's parents going to pay the ransom money and get them freed? You are left wondering throughout this entire story from chapter to chapter, what's going to happen? Will they get out safely? Will they figure out why these kidnappers are after them in the first place? Stolen Children by Peg Carrot, one of those edge-of-your-seat, suspenseful stories to read. For something a little lighter, Max Brellier's Last Kids on Earth series has been very popular, especially for those who really enjoy Diary of a Wimpy Kid. This is sort of that next step up in terms of reading if you're looking to push yourself beyond Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Also, maybe you were sitting around this summer watching Netflix and saw that this was a show on Netflix. This happened to be a favorite in my household, I know. And The Last Kids on Earth is about a kid named Jack. He's 13, a monster apocalypse has hit his town. He is indeed one of the last kids on Earth and has to fortify himself in a treehouse. They've surrounded it with a moat and some catapults. He's armed with Mountain Dew and Oreos, and he realizes pretty quickly he's not going to make it out alive if it's just him. So he finds some of the other kids that are left alive to be part of his team. Along with that team, they are fighting off everything from zombies to vine thingies and this really strangely intelligent monster only known as Blarg. You've got to find out through lots of humor and, nothing really particularly scary, but certainly adventurous, whether or not they're going to survive. Each book in the series has different adventures, tons of humor, and just a ton of fun, really. Last Kids on Earth by Max Brallier. This is the first book in the series, and we're just going to be adding the latest book, I think it's book number 7, to our library here this fall. My last book to share today is a great mystery, The Truth as Told by Mason Buttle, and this is by Leslie Connor. I don't know about you, but sometimes it's hard to tell when people are telling the truth. And Mason is the biggest, sweatiest kid in his grade. Everyone knows he can barely read or write. He's got kind of a rough start. 15 months ago, poor Mason lost his best friend, Benny. Benny turned up dead in Mason's family's orchard. Geesh, man, you're feeling bad for this kid at the beginning of this book. The other thing is this investigation about Benny's death has gone on and on and on because the lieutenant in charge of the investigation just doesn't seem to believe the truth that Mason is telling him about that day. Mason can't understand why the lieutenant won't just drop it. Why doesn't the lieutenant believe Mason? Well, now Mason, in this story, has met this new friend, Calvin. Mason and Calvin are bullied all the time by other boys in their neighborhood. And then Calvin goes missing, and Mason finds himself in trouble yet again. He wants to find out what happened to Calvin, and eventually he wants to figure out the mystery of what exactly happened to Benny. But the question is anyone going to believe him? I promise you, you won't be disappointed by The Truth as Told by Mason Buttle by Leslie Connor. I hope at least one of the stories I shared today sounds like a good one to you and that you wanted to write down at least one title or author. A lot of the authors I shared today have more than one book, so it might be worth even just jotting down an author. But as I mentioned at the beginning, please know this is just a few of the many, many books we have in the library, and you can use that library catalog on your iPad to search up tons of titles, tons of subjects, look at those genres, and find something great to read. Thanks so much for your attention. Happy reading.